Part 2 in the bedroom. Oh, we keeping it going. Last week we got into some foreplay. We got into some good stuff. Now we're talking about sex toys. Is there a difference between sex and love making? And then we're going to do a little quiz that we hope y'all do at home as well. We're back. Sum it up with the Sumners. Let's get into the episode.
What up, good people? Welcome back to Sum It Up with the Sumners. I am Victoria, and this is my husband,
Damon.
Yes, so glad to have y'all back. We've gotten such great feedback. Thank y'all for the messages, some of the comments, and the text, and the whatever. We appreciate that. It lets us know that we're like in the right ballpark for this topic. Hopefully y'all have enjoyed it, and we're going to continue it today. But as always, thank you so much for just being with us, for rocking with us and coming back and getting the next dose of In the Bedroom this week is what we're talking about.
Part 2.
Part 2.
Part 2. Yes, as she said, we appreciate it. It's been good. Just hearing and chiming in with people. Thoughts. Sex is something that matters in your marriage. And so, hopefully, if nothing else, these episodes have been good jumping boards to more conversations at home. You know what I mean? You hear things? What is that?
Jumping board.
I like to mix it up aside from piggyback. You know, we're going to piggyback off. I don't like to piggyback. Let this be.
But I do think, because you said sex is important. And like, duh, right? Like, everybody knows sex is important. Everybody wants sex. Everybody enjoys sex. Like, sex holds all of its value.
Sure.
But I hope that, again, from these conversations, that it puts more meaning around why sex is important, right? Like, like we know it has meaning of importance. It's connection. It's all of that good stuff.
All those things. Intimacy on a different level. Spontaneity. You know
it's why isn't sex great, or if sex has failed, you know?
All those things.
All of that.
It's a big old bag.
Yeah.
It's a big old bag that makes it work.
And like normally we only pull out of like one corner of the bag. But I'm like, there's a whole other part of this your hand can reach
get in there. There's crumbs right here.
That's true. So that's all. So let's keep talking.
Let's keep talking. Let's dive right into it here. Sex and love making. Is there a difference? Sex and love making. Hey, tonight we want to make love. Do you say that? Do you say that when you pull up on boo? You text, hey babe, I can't wait to get home. I want to make love to you. Is that something that you hitting them with? Or like, no, we sexing tonight. Is that a thing? Like the vernacular, the language that we use. We're not gonna really say it often, right? But in general, is there a difference? Because it's very common to be used in music and movies and media. You know what I'm saying? Love making. Who was that? Tyrese, right? And so, you know, it's interesting. What do you think? Do you think there's a difference, small or large, between sex, you know what you say, it's got an X, sex and love making?
I just think it's funny how often when I think about world perspective of sex, I go to Chris Brown songs. It's just such a good reference.
Sea breezy.
I'm like, what Chris be saying?
What Chris saying?
I know he's not the best, but whatever.
I know he's not the best.
I'm just thinking like, ooh, if you don't say sex, then what you say? But I think this goes into kind of what we're gonna talk about a little bit too, about like the quality of some sex, right? Like some sex, like some intimacy, some sex that you're having. Some
sessions.
Some sex sessions. Sex sesh. Some of your sex sessions may be not as great as others or not as emotionally connected as others.
Okay.
I think there's a time and a place. If you're having sex with the same person all this time, there's going to be some good, some bad, some served, some not for you, some just for the other person. And so when I think about sex and lovemaking, I just think like there are more moments when it's more passionate and intimate, and that's what I think the lovemaking is like. Like, oh, I might cry. This, you know, like
we are intertwined.
Yeah, like we just rolling, and it's like real emotional to me when I think of like this is lovemaking. There's a deeper emotional connection. And I just think, you know, maybe sex is just kind of your basic line of
physical,
just, you know, we're doing
having a good
the
time. We're having to get the lunch break. Just get in and out. Just
yeah, you just, you're
just
enjoying, and you get all the benefits.
Get
It's
it.
kind of like,
yeah.
I wouldn't say it's like smoking, but I don't know. Like, it's something like where you like, no matter, you're just going to feel the feels. You're going to
Okay.
get all of the, everything we're talking about.
Sure.
You're going to feel more connected. You're going to feel blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
like, there's something deeper to me.
So maybe you're putting something on, you're cooking this on the stove top, but if you throw it in the crock pot, whereas like you're just gonna let that
That's a
bad
good
boy
one.
simmer. Like you're talking about this emotional wealth,
Them girls
this connection,
and
this
some
intimate feast. I can see that.
I
My
know.
first
What's your thought?
my first thought was pacing. Love making just feels.
That's a good thought. I didn't even think that.
I just went like my first. If I'm being honest with you, my first
No, that's
initial thought
good.
was
I
pacing.
Can see that.
And like, there's times you think back where some sessions have just been just slow and intentional, no rush, right? And then there's sometimes going back to pacing, right? Which ties in a little bit to what you're saying too.
I get that.
You don't have to be slower pacing to have this emotional connection. That's not what we're saying. I think
That's
there's
just a thought that you had.
sure, but I do think there's an element of that. That's
I
my
like
first
that.
thought.
No, that makes sense.
And maybe you can have both in the same session.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you mix it up. But you hit something a second ago I think we got to continue to deep into that every time doesn't have to be a rock star session. Every time doesn't have to be a, and we hinted on this a little bit last week here, but just to really try to take it home, sometimes, and this, I'm speaking for myself, I have over time become more content with that. Every time there's to be a rock star session because, coming into marriage, being in the thick of it, a lot of things. Social media, society, culture, personal pride, whatever. You're like, every day our jersey is going in the rafters. You know what I'm saying? Like every day there's a text message about your boy. You understand? Like, fellas, don't leave me up about me. You know what I'm saying,
There's
right?
a text message.
There's every day.
Girl, let me send you
Listen,
this emoji.
hey, every day she's getting up to make a sandwich or get some juice for you. And that's just not, sometimes you gotta get your own juice. Sometimes there's no sandwiches being made. Sometimes your jersey stays on and don't go into the rafters. And so there's this element of that. And then there's an element of also different needs for the session, right? Maybe I'm sleepy. Maybe she's sleepy, right? Maybe we're both tired, right? Maybe we just want to connect. Maybe we both been desired. Maybe we put it on a schedule. Maybe it was a date night. Whatever these different reasons are. Maybe we snuck in on a lunch break. Maybe it's screen time. There's so many different, maybe it's hotel sex. There's so many different reasons, right? Why somebody came home tipsy.
Okay,
There's so
Damon.
many different reasons why things can pop off. And I want to be clear that every time they got to be a rock star session.
Yeah.
Every time.
I was talking to some friends, and that's how this rock star session came up. And we were talking, and it was like, yeah, it was, just talking about like sometimes it's good, sometimes, or how can I make it better? I'm like, every time ain't gonna be fantastic. It just, out of all the times, it just can't. It won't.
Nothing will.
Nothing is always
Right?
great. It's like, what I thought of? I thought about like performing at the Small Show, and then like next week having being in a like grand theater.
We're both performers.
Of some level.
You
can have 4 people I'm doing pounding, and then like 50. You're like, God, yeah, this is
it.
But they all serve their purpose.
They all serve their purpose.
And I still get a high, from everyone just because I'm excited about it, and this is what I want to do.
Right.
Same thing goes for sex.
Right.
Side note, Damon and I always compare sex to just like all these things.
All these things.
Sex always like, just like in our everyday life.
Yeah.
Just like our relationship with the Lord.
Just like working out.
When we want to work
eating
out.
well. It's like you don't want to be getting in it. Like, I don't want to go to the gym today. But every time you get in that mug,
yes.
that sweat, that music come on.
Man, this session was good.
You be like, man, it's always good.
I'm about to feel good.
But getting there.
Yeah.
Ain't gonna be hard.
And
not all the time, but sometimes it can be
it
hard
can
to
be.
get there.
I mean, you're tired. I mean,
You just had a fight.
I was just gonna say that. Y'all know we don't even come up on these podcasts without having some type
This
of tip.
episode gonna be so good.
Yeah.
Listen to me. This episode right here. Fire.
So So you I don't even know where to go from there.
I'm just saying. I think expectations. We talk about expectations in week two of the series, but like in regards to this specifically, if you come into the bedroom, maybe thinking that every time needs to be fireworks, then you could leave disappointed, right? You could live unsatisfied in some shape, form, or fashion.
No, I think every time, you
I mean, come in.
Right. Well, I'm just saying, like, you come in ready,
yes.
for the enjoyment. Oh. Yes. Side note.
Oh, you got it back.
Another side note.
Oh,
a whole new one. I got another one.
Because
I was thinking about, like, one of the things I think about, like, from my perspective of Pound, which is the workout that I teach, it's always, like, workout in general gives you endorphins. It makes you feel good. Dopamine, serotonin.
Yeah.
You naturally is just going to feel this good high, after you work out. And let's just talk about how sex is that, too. Sex is a workout.
Come on.
It is a release. It is it's going to release, like, endorphins and hormones.
All the chemicals,
right?
Yeah.
So that's a whole additional extra fact here about, like, in the bedroom. Like, if you are tired, if you are stressed, sex is probably one of your best medicines.
Sure, definitely. Yeah, before you may pick up the bottle, before you may get into something else that may not be as beneficial, you got some here that can give me
burning
that release.
Calories.
More lead to intimacy with my boo, right? All of that, for sure.
Stress reliever.
No, that's really good.
So,
that's really good.
I didn't have that on the list, but I was like, let me talk about that
That's
for
true.
a second.
Right now we're stressed. This is true. Anything else about the rock star?
Nah, just go in ready to please. And
that's one of our big. I think that's our biggest thing. If both people go in ready to please, you should come out feeling good.
Yeah, you'll come out feeling good, no matter what the outcome may be. Whether it was a rock star session, whether you finished or not, like, hey, enjoy yourself.
Enjoy yourself. That's gonna be our merch line. Enjoy yourself. Next up, let's talk lingerie. I was at a comedy show, and this married dude, funny dude, I had a bit about lingerie and how it changes over time in marriage, right? And so it made me think about the series, and I was like, man, that's definitely something for us to bring up, lingerie. I know. Well, I'm gonna start with you first. When you think about lingerie as a wife, right? Like what comes to your mind just from a woman's perspective here on necessity, frequency? Does it matter? You know what I'm saying? Do you think it works? Like, I'm intrigued from a woman's
really
perspective.
fair from a woman's perspective. It's just my perspective.
No,
because some people like that.
You're the woman representing for ladies.
Oh, I know.
I'm representing
for ladies. I'm
you
really
are.
Just
that's how I go. When you
for
speak,
me.
no. As I go, it's a black man talking. Let me listen to him.
Well, I know this is tough though because everybody has different perspectives.
Yes, we know that. Caveat noted. Boop. Next. We know that. We all have different perspectives.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm not speaking for women. I'm speaking for me and
yes.
lingerie.
I want to hear from you as a woman.
Oh,
I am not a woman.
Oh, okay.
So I want to hear from you. Just your
was
thoughts
saying,
about it.
I don't really care about lingerie.
Yeah. Okay.
And somebody is like, I love lingerie.
Sure.
So that's why I'm like,
so that's how you feel. You're not big.
But no, I don't really. I mean, I like it. To me, lingerie, I don't go to sleep in that, right? So it's like
I don't think
super comfortable.
People sleeping in lingerie?
I don't know. So and it's just gonna come off. It does look good and sexy, and I think that's helpful to entice the moment. So there are moments when I'll put it on, or if I got something new, or for some reason during the pandemic I was really into it. So I have a couple of new pieces. Why did I get so much? I don't know, but I was like, oh yeah.
Was it your class? Did your class play a part of it?
Oh yeah, the class did help. Yeah, I did some pole and exotic dance classes, and so you kind of had to look sexy and that was actually really good.
She did. She really enjoyed it.
Which is also a step into the bedroom, and we could talk about that for spicing it up because I came home like, let's go. Like maybe I wasn't normally, but that little exotic dance and learning that, and I learned some pole moves and some chair moves, and so just ways to spice it up. But ultimately, lingerie does make you feel sexy as a woman, and then it also is sexy to the man, so it definitely adds more value.
Yeah, I think lingerie is. I like lingerie in the sense that it does entice. It does turn on, if you will. It is definitely not something, speaking for myself as a man, it's definitely not something I need or desire for Katori to be in consistently or often. I mean, to be honest, so, scientifically, men are more visual creatures or whatever. So, like, it ain't even got to be lingerie. Like, it could just be anything that is you just find, sensual on your spouse's body, right? You know what I'm saying? From whether that's maybe a cute dress to maybe that in a tank top to a wet towel or whatever it is, right? So, but specifically putting on a cute teddy or, this little two-piece, whatever, yada, yada. I mean, she could put on fruit roll-ups for all I care. Because it's, you know what I'm saying? So that's something that I don't think much about, but I was intrigued because the guy goes on in that bit. He talks about that he really likes it and that his wife doesn't when it goes on with it. And so you gotta meet your spouse in the middle and communicate about finding that middle ground so everyone can feel heard.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have thought that so much for you because I do remember you did like that more maybe in the beginning of our marriage and stuff. But I was just like, the nakedness should just be even better.
Well, I have this whole thing about I'm not a fan of casual nudity. I've talked about that where I don't if we're not finna play the game, then I'm not even gonna just be looking at the uniform. It's like I'm not even gonna do it. I'm just gonna focus on me until it's like whoop whoop. All right, you're in. Then all right, let's go. Let's get the Gatorade. Let's stretch. Let's get into it. But casual nudity, that's enough. Don't just we walk around the house and cutting toenails naked and no, we're not. No, we're not. Put some clothes on. No, not a fan. Listen, we got more to get into in the bedroom part 2. We'll be back after a quick break.
So I don't really love to cook as the primary cook in this family. However, what I do like is to jazz up the meals when I do cook, right? I'm looking for spices, seasonings, dry rubs, and I found a good place. It is Artisan Dry Goods made by beautiful Briny C. So a little bit of everything to spice up, jazz up your meal. It is a local store right here in Atlanta, but ready to ship out to you all over the world.
Absolutely, and they're legit. I'm gonna be honest with you here. Forbes, The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, and Oprah's magazine. And you know Oprah only gonna promote the good stuff. All right, so check them out. Instagram. Beautiful Briny C. Make your kitchen better. All right, I'm talking about real good ingredients, urban gardens, local farms. So it's good for your taste buds, good for your body. Check them out, and let's get to the episode. All right, we're back. Check them out. Beautiful Briny C. Delicious. So good. Consistent in our pantry. All right, let's keep moving. We're in the bedroom part 2. Okay. Now, again, we told you at the beginning of this series, this may not be the time where you want to listen to this with your 8-year-old or your 13-year-old. Because sometimes, you know what I'm saying, we talking about grown folks stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Don't listen to
grown folks stuff. My son, Mitch, he was like, hey, can I listen? We were driving back today. He was like, can I listen to, I have another podcast, the 4 to 10 podcast, 3 comics, 10 topics. We talk about sports. I was like, yeah, you could. Like, you're not our target audience, but you could. I mean, it's just kind of talking sports. He's like, what about the podcast with you and Mom? I was like, nah, that ain't. Nah.
I don't know why he asked that. He just saw the title and was like, Mom, what is this?
He said, what title?
In the bedroom. I was like, yeah, that's what it is. We're talking about in the bedroom mission. He's like, oh. Yeah. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, no.
I'm an adult.
Yeah. I say that to say because another thing that goes down in the bedroom and people have different thoughts on it. We've got our thoughts on it. Toys, right? And not just toys, but like accessories. I think that's a bigger word, right? From gels, goos, smells, creams, toys. Except I use the word accessories. Is there another word besides accessories? I feel like it's a pretty accessories, right? We're pro accessories. We have used accessories for a while here.
You're gonna say accessories.
I like the word. It's a 4-syllable word. I like accessories. I like
spice it up.
You know what I'm saying?
Use what you want. It's in your bedroom, but again, it's what y'all decide you want to.
Yes, I'm speaking for us. I remember the first time we walked into an accessory shop. We were in Denton. You remember that?
Really sticking with this.
What else should I say?
It's just a sex store. An accessory store.
Accessory is a fun word.
Okay.
We went. Remember the first one, Starship in Denton?
No.
You remember that?
Mm-mm.
Man, that was an eye opener. People.
Yeah. I mean,
hey, I don't know if you listen. I don't know if you've been to a sex shop. It's the time.
it's like, oh wow.
It's a lot going on.
But there are,
Go ahead.
there's a lot going on. But there's also a lot of things. Like if you're uncomfortable with anything, there's sex toy parties and
Parties. I mean parties.
yeah, people like you can throw a party.
Oh, for them to come. Oh yeah, yeah.
Right, and then
Gotcha.
you can go somewhere and get trainings using toys. Like
That's
there's
good.
a
That's
lot
good.
of like if you just
Coaching.
I just
Well, we don't talk about it.
yeah.
We're really we're gonna speak in our circles, right? That's not really something that in our circles we're really talking sex. We're not really talking about sex.
Now,
you got a new friend.
We got
35, right?
I mean, we all been married for about 10 years,
yeah,
and like now I don't
Yeah.
feel like we've had such meaningful conversations around sex and like just helpful. Again, not trying to talk about conversations just like, girl, I be doing this.
No.
Okay, no, that's great. But like,
what's working for you?
Oh, y'all do that and it's good.
Yes.
And that work. I might want to try that.
I've asked people about budgeting. I've asked people about parenting. I've asked people about recipes, manhood, all this. I've texted friends about lawnmowers and lawn care and ways to get to work. But somehow, some way, sex is one of those fewer things that can stay to the side. So if you've got something dope, you're like, yo, this was good. My wife and I enjoy it. I'm speaking for myself, put it in my ear. Let me do my research. And then I talk about it with Katoya. And maybe it is beneficial, maybe it's not.
Well, it's because, again, sex is taboo. And sex in society carries so much weird things. And
so many weird things.
Lord, if you've been, Christian at all, then now it's like, conservative.
Well, any religion, not even just Christian.
Yeah,
like any religion, how they see sex from other religions as well, where it can come off more conservative.
That's our bedroom.
Right.
We don't speak of that. Right. And that, there's some truth there, right? I'm not going to go out and talk about certain things.
Not this podcast.
There are things that I think that, it's good to hear, to be challenged, and I thought that was perfect what you said. You asked about all these other things. And one of the most enlightening times for me was the Red Table Talk with Jada
Pinkett Smith,
Willow, and it was just like, and it was so funny because people are like, oh, can't believe they're talking about this. And I was like, I love that 3 generations of women can actually sit at the table and really talk candidly and openly, because we make it so let's not talk about it. And then that way everyone leads to all these explorations on their own, and then you have to feel either good or bad about what you're choosing to do in your bedroom. So I think you got to get around the closest comfortable people to have a tight circle with. Because you don't want to be judged for what you do or don't do, right? Because somebody like, ooh, girl, y'all don't do that. Man, you missing out. But then you're like, well, maybe you want to try that, Then that goes back to all the other episodes we talked about, having those conversations, trying something new. But I do think sex toys and shops and what they can add from stimulation. Like if you having a hard time climaxing, maybe this is helpful for you.
Come on, somebody. Fellas, come on now.
If you don't want to be trying to get it while it's going, then maybe you need something to help you.
Listen to me.
If you can't go long, but you need a little assistance, maybe it's all good. It's just like medicine. So I just think it's fun to explore it together and to just be on the same page about what y'all trying to get into.
I think so. And I think just around this specific piece, we out here trying to go the distance. 50, 60, 70 years, with the same person. There is good days, bad days, high fives, spats, all that. But accessories is just another way, like location, like other things that play a part, right? Where it can just continue to make sure things don't get mundane, where things don't get into a rut. You know what I'm saying? Like tomorrow, right? Look online, whatever you do. And then when the weekend comes, listen to this. Then on the weekend, just pop out. Just pop out the bathroom and just hold some handcuffs or a little duster open. I don't know, a feather. I don't know, whatever it is. Just check it out.
I hope y'all took that test.
I hope y'all did take that test. That was in the show notes from last week in the
helpful.
bedroom. Very helpful. All right, so we're gonna do some here. I don't know if we've done it before. I feel like we have, but we got this little quiz Katoya and I are gonna take here. We're gonna ask each other some questions, and one, hope this brings some type of value to more than anything, springboard some conversations for y'all to have, right? So we'll kind of walk through it, but then also like listen, take notes, stop, rewind, play it again, listen to it with your boo. You know, these are just some questions that we thought were potentially helpful to check in with, and we were gonna do it live with y'all because that's how we roll with this. This is our show. This is our show together. You know what I'm saying? As a tandem. First question, you ready? Mm-hmm. Hot seat. I just made that up off the dome. I haven't had dinner yet, so it's just off the dome. Here we go. What's something I could do, right, that could take you out of it? Like we get into it, but what's something I could do, and we can even say that kind of take you out? Because I know I got one off the top of my head. What's something I could do to kind of take you out of it?
Okay, you go first.
So laughter and tickling. Those are two things just off top. Like if there's too much laughter, like if we ain't laughing, I'm not laughing, right? And so it's like what are you like? This isn't. We're not funny right now. Like there's no jokes. I'm not running bits. Like what are we laughing at? And then also tickling. So like that is anti-sexy to me. So those are two things that could take me out mentally and physically. Just kind of get me out. I try to get back into it sometimes, but that's what I got right there. What's something that I could do or say that could potentially take you out of it, even on the short term?
I don't know right now.
Ooh.
I just thought like any type of body odor, like a body odor or bad breath or anything like
freshness.
that. Like, I'm like, ooh.
That's true. That's
I definitely don't want to kiss.
That's
I definitely like, ooh, I can't get down there.
Freshness. That's good. No, that is 100% valid. What could take you out of it here? That's about freshness. Whether you try to come back in,
I'm always so impressed with TV. Because I'm like, that was a whole day of work. Like
whole day.
And y'all just did that. Man, that's a lot of.
He sat in traffic.
Yeah, sweat. Dang, wow. Couple of peas.
Ooh, couple peas. Whew. At least a fart. At least one fart.
Very uncomfortable.
And y'all did all the stuff. Just
I'm not saying like you have to be like fresh out the shower every single time or something, you know?
But no, that's real.
It's just, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's real. That's solid.
So it's a situation for me.
Let's flip it. All right. What's something your spouse does that turns you on? That's a good question here. What's something that your spouse does that turns you on? It could be physical. It could be, verbal. It could be anything, but specifically focusing on the word turns you on. What's something your spouse does that turns you on? What do I do to turn you on?
I guess you answered the first question.
I did.
I laugh because I thought about like very non things that turn people on, because after you've been in a relationship for so long, I feel like it's like, oh, you cook dinner, like stuff like that,
sure. That's valid.
Like,
that's valid.
Oh,
that's valid.
Okay.
That's real valid.
But like valid. I do feel like those like basic things are a turn on, but like I'm turned on by nakedness. So I like if you come to the bed and it's just like, yeah, just give me the body. I like that. I like, and Damon's like anti being naked. So I just be like, why do you have on all these things? Like, get out.
That's good.
Yeah, I think just like being naked is a turn on.
I hear it. So we'll do this sometimes. Couture will do it more than me. And I'll leave that statement at that. Of where you come in and like you just kind of take whatever phone or work they've got and you kind of just move it out the way. Like it's like a mandatory pause. It's like, all right, I see you. Then you do a little saddle action. Everybody loves a good saddle. You know what I'm saying? Little saddle and move to work. Little saddle. That's good right there. Everybody love that. Next up, what's another one? What we got next?
That's good to know, because sometimes it can be like, I'm still finishing this email.
That's true.
Anyway. What song turns you on?
I was thinking about this one here. I don't have many. And they're definitely not up to date. But if I could go back to my heyday, it was 112 Anywhere. That song, because I was, that right there. Listen.
I can love you in the shower.
That's one. But I think you said something last week about music. more so like tempo and rhythms.
Yeah.
You know what
I
I mean?
agree, and I still agree with that because I don't think oddly enough, like I'm only like excited about like music only turns me on to dance. Like I'm like, ooh, let's dance. Like
Sure.
I'm feeling this moment.
Sure,
I
sure.
know this song. It sounds good, but like when I'm actually trying to have sex, I don't want to listen to those songs. Like those songs make me maybe feel sexy if I'm dancing.
But not.
like not in sex. So to me, it is more of the tempo. You know, like yeah. I told y'all what's the name of that group? I said, oh dang.
Oh yeah, that group. I had no idea. I remember you said on last week.
Their name is spelled kind of different.
Think about it before the end of the show.
But them, they are the perfect example because I literally have no idea what they're saying.
That's good. Because y'all don't need to really giving me 2 verses and a bridge in my ear.
Just say the same thing over here.
Yeah, we locked in. Next one here.
Man, I'm so mad I can't remember them.
You get it before we're done. This one we've talked about slightly here, but we'll ask it again in this context. How much kissing is enough when you're talking about sex and love making? Like, are y'all big kissers when you're having sex? You know, in your sessions here, we have different thresholds for kissing. I'm definitely the kisser, more volume wise. You know what I'm saying? Would you disagree with that?
No,
Right.
I like to kiss. I
You
just
do.
don't have to kiss like for a long time.
You don't.
Like I don't need like just long makeout sessions.
Yeah.
Or something.
So we're gonna make that a challenge 1 month here.
No thanks.
What
Not
else?
going.
We're gonna do a challenge for people. People ain't making out like they did in high
You
school.
can kiss. That's because that's all you
March.
should do.
March, alliteration, March and makeout challenge. That's coming. Stay tuned.
I don't.
That was off the dome.
I don't really like it.
Next, what's,
I just said no thanks.
what's another one?
Wait, what was the question? Did you answer the question?
Yeah, I did. It was how much kissing is enough.
Oh,
Then we kinda
and
talked
you
about
like there's never enough.
basically. But that's all I had, you know, because you was my only girlfriend, so that was it. That was the big thing I was trying to get to.
That's so
Was just kissing.
yeah. Now I do like to.
She does like kissing.
I just don't need
She
like.
just don't need as much as
okay.
I like.
Here we are. It's been
Right.
2
The way she feels about nakedness is how I feel about kissing. That's all. Tomato, potato. You understand?
Oh, how we changed. I mean, I think I used to like kissing. I have no idea. I have this bodily fluid thing. It's just
No worries
so
here.
odd
Nobody's
sometimes.
worried about it.
Anyway,
What else we got?
3 places you like to be touched. Touch
Mm.
me, tease me,
Who's that?
and total.
Oh, yeah. I knew it was one of them. I knew it was one of those groups.
Hell man, that reminds me of songs that have masturbation. It's so crazy.
Excuse
like
me?
Janet Jackson. Like
Excuse me?
And that Total album. I
What?
was like listening to that in like middle school and high school.
What?
Yes.
Huh.
Man, there is this really good song by Janet Jackson. I mean, she killed.
You think you're confident about masturbation?
She masturbates at the end of the song, and in that Total track they did the same thing, and I just remember being like,
And you
"What is happening?"
and this I'm now intrigued. At this moment, did
I
you
mean,
fully
like-
understand what was happening? As a
Yes.
Wow.
And I was like, "Oh my god, I can't let my parents know I'm listening to this." I listened to that Janet Jackson song not too long. I came home and listened to it after a pole class, and I was like, "I forgot that song." Miss Jackson, if you nasty.
If you're nasty.
She said that stuff with purpose, okay? She was like, I'm gonna be nasty.
Oh my goodness, that's
That's
hilarious.
so wild. Now that you don't know these, I'm gonna let you listen to it because
That's funny.
the total group is when I first was like, oh wow,
Huh.
on a tape.
On a tape.
I don't think they had a CD for that.
Cassette.
They
You
was
start getting
advanced.
it, cassette.
Anyway, 3 places you want to be touched.
Huh.
What you got, Damon?
I like the back of the neck. Back of the neck is nice. Back of the neck is nice. The chest is nice. I mean, anywhere really. But if I'm being specific, right? Being specific, back of the neck and chest. Those are 2 spots.
Yeah,
What
I
you-
think all my lady parts.
Well, that was easy.
I know. Okay, if it's just
that was.
sensual.
I knew that.
I love some shoulder rolls, some shoulder touches, some thighs. I love
back-
a good booty squeeze.
The back hug. The back hug. You know, when you're doing something, somebody come up and hug you from behind.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
You know what I mean? That's just a good one, I think, for any human.
No, that's a good one.
Yeah. Would you, real quick before we get out of here, would you consider any food an aphrodisiac? We never really talked about that in 16 years.
Not that I know that takes, like, real effect for me.
Right. None for me either.
But I never been like, let's eat these oysters. I think that's one.
Ugh.
I don't know. There's a lot of, there is different food
That
for
would turn me-
Afro.
ugh.
I mean, like if I was just like slurping a popsicle, you know, like I have no
What?
idea.
What?
I mean, like I'm just like
That what-
I don't know if that's an official aphrodisiac,
hilarious.
but I'm just saying, you know, that's like classic movie stuff. They're like, oh, she's just doing that, and you're
Too
like,
funny.
oh wow.
Too funny.
That's why like men don't like to eat bananas in public.
Too funny.
But there are some foods.
Yeah.
Let's talk about them real quick. How much time we got?
You got.
All right, we got nutmeg, oysters, asparagus,
No.
vanilla red wine,
Okay.
red
maybe.
chili peppers, banana, a garnet. Oh, shit, that looks like I don't know what that is. Dark chocolate,
Okay.
avocado, and honey. Sounds like 5 of these things I just eat every day.
Every day. Just, I'm just gonna start putting banana and honey on each other. Hilarious.
Yeah, but I
Hilarious.
think they're supposed to have properties that literally,
Sure.
you know,
Work internally.
right.
I got you.
But I've never
dig
like
it.
tried to give them a run
Never.
for their money.
Never have.
Yeah.
That's it. We will rent you for your money here. That's it. In the bedroom part 2. We hope y'all enjoyed this, man. Hopefully it's brought some value to you. Hope it's leading to some good conversations, into some good sex. We appreciate y'all. The conversation, the fun is continuing to happen over on Instagram. Summing Up Summoners. SUM. Summing Up Summoners. As always.
Thank you.
We appreciate y'all. Talk soon.